Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Serena if you are new here, and today we are going to be talking about all of the books that I read in May and then all of the books that I'm going to be reading in June. It's kind of crazy that we're already at June. What the heck? Time flies. So this shelf here is typically my TBR shelf, but it's time to reset that. So I think we will go in order of all the books that I read in May. I read a total of 7 books this month. Right now it's 6, but I'm going to be finishing the one I'm reading right now by the end of the month. So it's gonna be 7, which actually is my, I think, highest book count of the year so far. I haven't been reading nearly as much as I was in 2023, but I'm also reading a lot of longer books this year, so I think that kind of has a little bit of an effect on my total, but that's okay. I am enjoying every single book that I've read so far this year, and whatever I end up with at the end of the year is what I end up with, and I'll have no regrets. So without further ado, let's jump into it. I have some analytics for you all. Like I said, 7 books, but for the sake of the numbers, we're going to keep it at 6 for right now. 6 complete books at this point. 1,095 pages, 41.92 hours. I'm getting all of these stats from Storygraph. So they're all fiction, mostly romance and contemporary, mostly audio and digital. I didn't really sit with a physical book this month. I'm just looking through. Yeah, I didn't really sit with a physical book this month. It was either audio or my Kindle. So that's what kind of the vibe was. I was on the go a lot this month, so kind of makes sense with the audio and digital. There we go. For some reason I couldn't think of the word for it. Let's see, any other stats I can give you? I think that's basically it. So like I said, 6 books, about to be 7, 1,095 pages, and almost 42 hours. So let's jump into the books that I read. The first book that I read in May was this cutie. Not really cute. The reason why I said that is because this book was so sad. I loved every second of it. I gave it 5 stars, but I felt like with this one, I had to be in the right headspace just because it was a very heavy book. And if I wasn't in that headspace, I was finding that I didn't want to read this because I would be sad. This one took me a little bit longer than usual to get through, but it was worth every second of it. And I really did appreciate the way Jessa wrote this book because it really made you feel everything you were supposed to feel. So that's all I'm going to say on this one. Unfortunately, there are no more Magnolia books in the series. So the next book is either going to be Daisy or it's going to be, my theory is that it's actually going to be with some other characters that are not Daisy and Magnolia. That's just my theory. I am patiently waiting for another novel because we need it. We need another one. The next book I finished, I did start earlier this year. I want to say, maybe in February. I don't really remember, but it was Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. And I had picked this one up after putting it down at the 30% mark. And I was like, you know what? I'll finish it, like whatever. What did I rate it? Oh, of course I didn't put a rating in here. But if I had to rate it, it would probably be like 3.5 or 4 stars. It wasn't... I have my qualms with Tessa Bailey, and I just think that I really should not have listened to the audiobook for this one. Although some people say that the audiobook is actually like what keeps them into it. I just wasn't a fan of the narrators for this book, particularly the female one, and I think that kind of deterred me a little bit from reading it. I don't know. And it was just some like awkward scenes that I didn't love. So yeah, this one was fine. It was like 3.5. I would say, yeah, it's about a 3.5. The next book that I read, definitely top read of the year, or one of the top, is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. And no, I cannot get this sticker off. I've tried. This was so good. This is part of the Part of Your World and Yours Truly universe. So this is book 3 in that. And I think this is the last book in that series. But the nice thing is about this book and Yours Truly and Part of Your World, you don't have to read the series. You could just read the standalones. But if you really want to get to know the characters more, I would highly recommend reading Part of Your World, then Yours Truly, and then this one. Obsessed. So good. So good. Next, I don't know why I did this to myself, but I did read another Tessa Bailey book. This one was probably about a 3-star, and I really think I should have just put it down while I thought to put it down, but I couldn't bring myself to DNF it. I really need to get better at doing that. Typically I'm good, but I don't know. With popular books and popular authors, I really feel like I need to push myself to read them, and I kind of need to flip that mindset. But anyway, the next book is Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey. Here's the thing with this one. All the golf stuff, great, awesome. I actually did learn a decent amount about golf. I don't know, our male main character, Wells, a complete mess for me. Did not enjoy reading about him, wasn't a fan of some of the things that he said or did. Yeah, this one was just kind of a miss for me. So if I had to put a rating on it, probably 3 stars. Like, if I didn't read it, I wouldn't have missed anything, to be honest. And I hate to say that because I have really liked some of Tessa Bailey's other books, but that one just kind of missed the mark for me. The next one I read, because now I was on a sports romance kick, of course, was The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. And this was 5 stars. This was so good. So good. And you'll see in my vlog that I'm posting probably tomorrow. Yes, probably tomorrow. I loved this one. I read this one in that vlog and I could not get enough of it. Like, I wish it was longer. I wish it was longer. It was so good. So this follows Nathan and Bree, and Bree is a dance teacher, so extra brownie points because I was a dance teacher at one point. I no longer am. I'm only like a year removed. So more recently I was a dance teacher, and he's a football player. So a bit of sports romance there, and this one is best friends to lovers. Oh, I didn't give tropes for the other ones. Let's see if I can do this real fast. Fangirl to lovers. How do I do this? Like sports area of life to lovers. This one, strangers to lovers. Sort of friends to lovers. They like have mutual friends. I don't remember. That's kind of bad. I'm not even gonna put tropes on this one because you just have to read the series. Alright, so we're all caught up with tropes and ratings. I always forget to give the tropes, but I never forget to give the ratings. So I need to think about that. The next book that I finished literally this morning, almost cried, came very close. Hot House Flower by Kristen Becca Ritchie. This is book 5 in the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. It's actually book 2 in the Calloway Sisters, but book 5, like in the grand scheme of things. So good. And I had my reservations. I really did. If you would have asked me at like 60%, and also when I gave an update in my next vlog, I also read this one. I was like, I don't know. It's probably like my least favorite book in the series. Like, it's fine. I was so wrong. That's what I get for jumping to conclusions before I finish the book. this is probably gonna be one of my favorites. But I don't know, I still have half a series left, so there's plenty of time on this one. Tropes, friends to lovers. Just read the series. That's all I'm gonna say. And then, oh, that was it, actually. I'm currently listening to Swift and Saddle by Lila Sage. I just completely blanked out for a second. This is, I don't want to say coworkers. I guess strangers to working together to lovers. Again, I'm like maybe 10% into this one. I have no idea. So that's kind of just like what I know so far. What else can I tell you about this one? I think it's gonna be 5 stars because Done and Dusted was also 5 stars. I loved that one. So I'm reading this one because the third one, Lost and Lassoed, comes out at some point this year. I don't know when, but I want to be ahead of the game. All right, those are all of the books that I have read so far this month. Well, we're at the end of the month, so those are the books that I've read this month. The TBR for June is quite small-ish compared to May. The reason why I'm saying small-ish is because it's only 4 books, but at the end of these 4 books, it's probably going to equate to about the same length as the May TBR. Oh, I forgot a book. All right, so that's actually 5 books, not 4 books. But starting off with the book that I did not read in May that I'm going to read in June is Flawless by Elsie Silver. I think this is the first one. I'm like 99% sure it is. Everybody talks about this one. I have not read a single Elsie Silver book, and I've been on Bookstagram for 2.5 years. Yeah, it's about maybe just under 2.5 years. Have not read a single one of her books, so it's time that I finally dive in. I think this is going to be 4 stars. I am never the biggest fan of the first book in the series, but she could totally prove me wrong. And I would be so down for that. So, that's this one. Next on my list is the book that I've been putting off since February. And I finally just have to buckle down and read it. House of Flame and Shadow. I'm so nervous to read this one. I was actually going to do it sooner rather than later, and then I didn't because of all the mixed reviews that I was skimming through on Bookstagram. So I said, you know what, maybe I'll just wait and not read this one just yet. I also wanted to finish Kingdom of Ash because I didn't know. I wanted to be caught up everywhere else before jumping into this one. And now that I am, I think it's time. I am going to start this one on Saturday, because Saturday is June 1st. It's probably going to take me all month to read, which is okay. I'm going to savor it. I don't want to rush it, but I do want to be back in this world. So I am thinking this is going to be, I think it's going to be 4 stars. House of Earth and Blood was 5 stars for me. I thought that was the best book so far. Sky and Breath was 4. I think this is gonna be 4. I'm not sure, though. I'm nervous. I'm just really nervous. Next, I feel like this would be a good palate cleanser of a book between the 2 fantasy books that I have on my TBR is Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison. I know I need to take the sticker off. Let's just pretend it's not there. I want to get through this one as soon as possible because I do have an arc of Business Casual, and Business Casual is the 4th one. So it's time. It's time to pick up this one, and I'm excited. I think this follows Caleb and Layla. And I really liked Layla, her little cameos in the first 2 books, so I think this one will be great. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be 5 stars because the other 2 books by B.K. Borison were also 5 stars. And I'm excited. I'm excited about all of these. The next book on my TBR that I have here, and then I'll talk about the one that I forgot, is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I almost forgot who it was by. I am very excited to read this one because Bethany is reading it and she said it's good. And it's also short. It's like just over 300 pages. Yeah, it's like 330 something pages. So it'll be a quick one to get through. And I just have had this book on my shelf for way too long and have not read it. So it is time to pick this up finally and see what it's all about. I think it's going to be either 3.5 or 4 stars. Again, because it's the first book in a series, I don't want to jump too high, but I still have Ruthless Vows to read. So I think that is going to be where it's at. But I'm excited for this one. The last book that I forgot to grab is the next book in the Addicted Calloway Sisters series, which is Thrive. I don't know whether it follows Lily and Lo or if it follows one of the sisters. But I think it follows Lily and... No. I think it follows one of the sisters because that would kind of make sense with where we are in the plot right now. But it could totally be wrong. Could totally be wrong. I'm excited to keep going in that series because I do really want to wrap it up. At the same time, I don't want to wrap it up because it's so good. So that is the TBR and the wrap up for May and June. I hope you guys enjoyed this combined wrap up. Typically I would do these as 2 separate videos, but the TBRs have been a little small lately just because life has been busy and the shop has been busy and I don't want to overwhelm myself with a big TBR and then be rushing to get all these books done. I've really been enjoying just like slowing down a little bit and taking the books as they go and actually absorbing them. I don't know, sometimes I feel like when you read a lot of books, you don't always remember all the details of maybe the more important ones. So I've been really liking just vibing with the TBR. 4 books, 5 books. If it comes up to being more like 6, 7, I always just add throughout the month. I'd rather add than like have, you know, a whole pile of not read books. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Y'all know what to do at this point. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.